What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. Today is Saturday. The Ravens played their first preseason game on Thursday. They got their first preseason win, or I should say 21st preseason win in a row, defeating the Tennessee Titans 23-10. This is our recap podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the next 3-4 days are going to have all of these podcast clips. But if you want to check out the full thing right now, you can head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Spotify even has video format, so you could just watch it over on there if you guys want to. But let's get into it. We're going to get into a lot of things. Starting off, we're going to take Joshua and I each have one main takeaway. We're going to talk about what we took from the game. Secondly, we're going to talk about one particular rookie because we felt like this guy needs some more recognition. I feel like we talk about him every time we do a podcast. And then finally, we're going to be talking about the wide receivers. So don't worry, the wide receivers are coming, and we're going to talk about all of those positional battles and such. But Joshua, let's start it off. Ravens, Titans, what was your preseason game one main takeaway that you had?
Well, one thing for certain, two things for sure. I am glad that it was preseason. If it was a playoff game, then I would be worried. But seeing that Tyler Huntley, Brett Huntley, and even Mr. Anthony Brown was out there slinging a gun, I would say that Gregory Roman may have finally opened the vault. Now, like I said, I know it's preseason. I'm glad it's preseason, but it may be a nuance to what may be to come. And he was giving those young wide receivers a chance to go out there and get the ball. Even our gorilla, aka Isaiah Likely. So I mean, seeing that we're going to be able to have a possibly balanced offense, that's very exciting to see because I mean that's something McConnell and myself and I'm pretty sure the whole TTB gang and Ravens flock have been wanting for this Ravens offense to produce. I mean, there's been too many times where we have gone away from our bread and butter and we try to go all pass and it hasn't been working. Sometimes, we needed to pass and we try to go running. And sometimes our run has not been the best. So being able to see the Ravens offense, even with a Mike Davis, I didn't like Corey Clement. I like how Tyler Beatty and Nate McCray got out there. But seeing how those young guys, plus a veteran, was able to move the ball and then add some passing to it and go vertical and stretch the field, it was very beautiful to see. And I just hope all that transitions over into the regular season.
Yeah, I did feel like, okay, this isn't going to be my main takeaway, but the way that Tyler Huntley plays quarterback, I like Snoop. I have nothing against him, but he doesn't throw the ball deep. He struggles with the deep ball. He's extremely inaccurate with it. He has a strong arm. That's not the issue. He just does not hit those deep passes. And so when he's the quarterback, it is very dink and dunk, and it's very run-centric. But all of a sudden, the thing about Lamar Jackson is we know Lamar can throw it deep. He can sling the football. He can hit his wide receiver deep. And we saw the next quarterback that stepped in, for Tyler Huntley come in, Mr. Anthony Brown, and he just comes down and he starts throwing the ball down the field. And I was like, whoa, I haven't seen this since Lamar Jackson last played for the Ravens. Like, where was this?
Yeah.
This could have won us some games. But it was something where I was watching and I was like, okay. And the plays looked good in that sense. When Anthony Brown was in quarterback, it was like, okay, the routes are looking good. The way the field was being, moved through. When Tyler Huntley's in, it's so guessable. Like, you're sitting there and you're like, I know exactly. They're running power to the left side with Mike Davis. They're going to run a play action bootleg to the right. But you don't have to cover anyone 25 plus yards down the field.
Yeah. It's almost like playing NCAA 14. Shout out to my guys that do that college revamp thing on YouTube. And you switching out your quarterbacks when you run the read option. You got your certain kind of quarterbacks that got the cap. What is it? Their type is pocket passer and runners. So when we switch out Tyler Huntley, he's a scrambling running type of quarterback. I'm not taking anything from his arm, just like McConnell, but at the same time, he's not using his God-given abilities to the best of his ability. But I mean, just like Lamar did, he put in the work in each offseason. If Snoop do the same thing, I feel like he'll be better off, But Snoop is, in my opinion, still a valuable trade piece to someone's team. There's still teams that are hungry for quarterback. Um, I think the Panthers go pound. You know, I don't know if they're playing today. Baker Mayfield's going to get the start today. Zach Wilson's going to be out for the next 2 to 4 weeks. You know, I know Joe Flacco's going to be ready for week 1. I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, they can bring in a Tyler Huntley, you know, to put in the mix. Even Drew Lock can have some competition up there in Seattle.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
We'll see. We'll see what he's able to do, and we'll see if he becomes a trade piece, because he's someone that looked good enough to where teams could maybe be interested, but it's like only if the right situation comes across. But, you know, in terms of your kind of takeaway, Joshua, I really like it because Greg Roman this offseason talked about how Lamar Jackson looks a lot better throwing the football. And whether or not that's slanderous towards Lamar, that's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to say, hey, Greg Roman likes Lamar's throwing right now. He likes it. It's very clear to me he doesn't have faith in Tyler Huntley. Like, there's like, it is okay, check down, check down, check down, check down. Like, we're at 3rd and 10 and it's like drag route to Isaiah Likely. Come on, you got some guys, right? Like that's the offense. Benjamin Victor on a 3-yard out needs 15 yards. Like, that was the type of thing that was happening. Because it's just not developed enough. And, you know, he's a backup quarterback, so, you know, totally fine. But when we saw, who was it, Josh Johnson come in, seemed like he had faith in his arm. And it was like, okay, the plays are opening. Like, where are these plays with Lamar? I think we've seen some plays out of Greg Roman where it's like, okay, this isn't bad. Where it's like, okay, you know, if this is called the right way. Because outside of the first quarter, I loved the Ravens offense. I think it worked great.
Yeah.
The first quarter was atrocious. It was horrible to watch. I was like, oh man, am I gonna have to watch 4 quarters of this?
It was looking a little bumpy, I will admit. Yeah.
Like, Tyler Huntley's average yard per attempt, 6 yards.
The wide receivers were helping him.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's hitting Isaiah Likely, you know, behind the line of scrimmage. He's giving the, you know, the little wiggle stick, you know, getting up 4 or 5 yards right there. It's just not developed. All of a sudden, Anthony Brown comes in, 7.8 yards, you know, per attempt, which may not seem as good, but he also threw 5 incompletions. Tyler Huntley only threw 2 incompletions, which is very different. So it's like Tyler Huntley was 16 for 18. Anthony Brown was 10 for 15, and he threw for more yards than Tyler Huntley did.
Yeah.
But, you know, do you have anything else to say on the Ravens offense, you know, the strategy? Because I want to get into my takeaway.
Not right now, man. I want to hear your take.